Hi, you guys ready? How is your Wednesday? How's the sun? No rain today? Sun is better. I said the sun doesn't get better. Welcome to our mid-March team meeting. Thank you for coming. Oh. Hold on. Never mind. Technical difficulties. Okay. Go. All right. We have our sponsor, Cheryl Goats. Cheryl? Oh, Cheryl's not. Sorry. But she is with American Home Shield, which is a home warranty. She is part of our. She is sponsoring lunch today. She couldn't be here, so I'm Cheryl. So get home warranties with American Home Shield. So good for she. So thank you, Cheryl. If you want to get her information or home warranties right there. TTPA, don't call people, don't sue people, or Bruce will get very mad at you. And I mean, don't spam me. Like Nick. So. No, so good. Come on, it's good. Oh, Sam.
I am super excited. I've been here all week because I have been working our sparrow.
Welcome, Amanda. If you haven't met her, she is awesome. She is sitting over there. Say hi. And if you ever visit her, she'll be sitting there smiling her pearly whites. Anyone tell me something good? Come on. I know there's good stuff. Chris.
I just want to send out just some thank yous for some referrals. For those of you that don't know, we have a little leasing company called WeFindYourTenants.com. We find qualified tenants for quality properties. And a lot of the agents here use us with their investment people so that we qualify tenants. We don't property manage. So I wanted to thank the ones that are continually giving us referrals and let everybody else know that service is available. And we always turn the tenant back to you. And give it to us.
I was very happy. Chris and Dexter and I were talking today about an issue they're having on issue, and it's just a little tweak. Just know there's a lot of scammers out there on the rental side. So a lot of scammers. So yeah. Seems too good to be true. It's too good to be true. So.
Yeah, those scammers also take advantage of listing. They will advertise your listed property, Craigslist for rent, and kind of.
And people.
And now we're having, and we're getting and Chris and them are getting a lot of straw, and they're trying to get to individual owners, property owners instead of property management companies to try and trick them. They're putting straw tenants out there. Yeah, so just be careful. It's happening a lot right now. So if you're referring to anyone or do it, just be careful with that. So I'm so good, Rich.
Yeah, two things. One, I'm very grateful for Bruce here. We've all been happy since he became broker. And we had a situation and it came to head on Friday, and just having Bruce's support was immense for me, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you. Also, I did, if you haven't checked on social media, I did one of the hardest things I've done in my life. On Saturday, I not just attended, but I accomplished my first 50K race, which is via our TL over in Bagville, and my knees are broke. But
Some years ago, I think of the doctor. You probably like my knees are broke.
yeah, they're done. If you saw my social media post at 6.5 miles, they went out and I figured out a way to go 20 more, and it was just the power of one more step each time. So
I honestly don't understand how we walking. Literally walking yesterday like nothing had happened.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And you guys appreciate Bruce. I just want to let you know they went to a hearing, and I don't want to do too much, but the other broker was arguing how it's legal for any agent to take any house, even if they don't have a listing agreement, it's not even on the market, and advertise it to generate leads.
That's considered fraud. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So the broker was saying that's not illegal, and you should be allowed to do that. So, just so you know, not all brokers are created.
That's
So
his first year, he took federal class. And he loved being on the team, but he was just like, man, I really wish I could see some playing time. And started, so football makes you do another sport, so he was baseball and track. And he just been telling me every day, Mom, I like it so much, and it's actually something I'm good at. So I'm excited about that, and I got 2 years in the contract, so yeah.
I got a call from Manassa, Virginia, from a Keller Williams agent there. And her mother, they just recently put her mother in a home, and her mother lives in Sacramento. And this is a small world story. So they're cleaning out the house, which happens to be on my street in South Natomas. And they find this note from their mother saying, with a list of real estate agents not to deal with. And then they had a note there saying, deal with this agent. And that was me. And the note was dated from 2015.
That is awesome. I had a similar story, actually, we just picked up a $1.1 million list. And on the team, and this was my neighbor from 9 years ago. And we messaged and texted and called, no response, never, 9 years. Oh, literally messaged me, hey, we're ready to sell. I know you're just putting out there and waiting for a response. It does happen, but just know it's on their timeline, not yours. You just have to be ready when they're ready, right? So
You're actually the third agent center.
yeah, I was actually ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, very.
Okay, I have a listing down in Exeter, California, and as you guys all know, this last week, or you don't know, this last weekend, that area was completely inundated with water and floods. A lot of people are displaced, and I call my seller a slight panic. How's the house doing? Like, get over there and check on it. He goes, girlfriend, don't worry about it. No, this guy says I was 14. Girlfriend, don't worry about it, sis, I got this. Exeter's on higher ground, it's gonna be fine. He calls me back and he goes, it's all good. But we got him a contract as well on Sunday. Yeah,
Homes and atmospheric rivers.
Yes,
So it's
apparently.
Anyone else? That sound good? We just want to talk about our belief system. We're on commitment in all things. And I just want to know that commitment is very important, not only in your business, but to yourself. And as far as doing your Legion and other things, our team was meeting this morning. We're talking about commitment. We have an accountability group. If you need more accountability on Mondays, you get in there, everyone's in there doing commitment. We're seeing the contacts, we're seeing the appointments come out of this group of agents, just individual agents. So just know commitment in all things is how you find success in real estate. Anyone want to give any examples of commitment? Oh, man, I know they're out there. I talk to you all.
Rich committed to a long run.
No.
Protein growth on the run, 33%.
Woo.
Wow. But yeah, commitment could be a lot of work, but the better you is on the other side of that. Jose.
So I had a big commitment to myself last year. I was being so busy in the industry, we tend to put ourselves last. And we just want to go, but you have to remember your health comes first, because as we know, health is wealth. And so I made a commitment to myself to rearranging my schedule to my non-negotiables every morning was the gym. And it's been ingrained to where, like, if I know I'm not going today and I drive by it, I really want to turn to go to the gym. And I really value that. I took that commitment and I maintained it because obviously my health has gotten better. And talking with you is more of like it's energy. And we're hearing that through a lot of trainings and a lot of everything else. You have to have energy in order to keep going, especially in this business right now, the shipping market, where you have to do a little more Legion. But it's all about energy and make sure that you get yourself first, because your clients can see that. And how can you be of value to somebody else who can't be valued yourself?
Yeah.
Amen. Appreciate that. Good commitment. Thank you. Support. Welcome to the family. We have some new members joining us. So welcome to see you. Eduardo. Eduardo was here. Is online. Eduardo, you there?
Yes, good morning, I'm here.
Hey, tell us a little about yourself, Eduardo.
So I started the real estate course back in September. I finally passed my real estate exam in February, the last day of February. And I've been working for the financial industry for a few years. Currently, right now, I'm working at a warehouse and I'm ready to just start 100% on my real estate business and just focus on that 100%.
Well, awesome. We love having you part of our family. I know you worked hard to get your license and we're excited to have you in real estate, so awesome.
Thank you.
Scott Klein here, you don't know, oh, Scott Klein, Scott was here yesterday, you don't know Scott Klein, he is, he was at Compass, now he's here. Actually, he was at Compass for 10 days and realized that was not the right place to be, and he came over, he interviewed us, chose Compass and realized that was wrong, and then came back, so after 10 days. But, I want you to know, he is from San Francisco, he moved here recently from San Francisco, doesn't know anybody, he was the top personal headshot photographer in San Francisco and sales. So just so you know, he's a photographer, but he's making the transition into real estate. And just so you know, he's running hard. He already has 2 buyers over $1 million. So just because you don't know anybody doesn't mean you can't get out there and find the buyers and find the leads right now. So Jordana. You don't see Jordana, she's awesome. She has a lot of energy. She brings it, and she's gonna be a superstar. So I'm looking forward to having her. So welcome to everyone who joined us. Congratulations to your first transaction at KWSAC Metro. Congratulations to Sonia Cervantes. She's the sister of Ellen, who is in our TCL. And she just comes in and says, I just need to get back into real estate. Let me do this. And then I got 2 buyers and she just closed the deal. So she's a so she's awesome. She has experience, but she's getting back into real estate. Congratulations, Sonia, on her first deal. Just closed for the first 2 weeks of March. Here we go. It does happen at a high level. Harm Atwell, 7 closes. Just 5 on favor, 4, Bobby Acton 3, Julian 3, Alicia Rios 2, Andre 2, Twan 2, Eternity 2, Alicia Amethyst, Dana, Danielle, Dennis, Deruba, Francine, Jacqueline J, Jose, Mayella, Rich, Sonia, and Stephen T. Congratulations on all your. So that's the market. That's 2 weeks. So. Okay, picture listings. Who's got listings? I know you got listings. Francine.
I do. 2 go live tomorrow. One is the come back around. It's the 6341 Ron Jumley.
Ron.
I'm not saying that. Ron. No, there's no way. 28 square feet, 614, list price, 3.2, beautiful swimming pool, breezeway between the house and the garage that you can use like a little California room. That's the landscape front and backyards. Open houses this weekend, bring in buyer. Tomorrow goes live as well, 4717 Selkirk Way. That's over off of Dewey and Madison near Del Campo High School. It's a 3.2, but it's 1967 square feet. What they do is they enclose the porch on the left-hand side, built like a little bar area, and then a set of stairs goes up to a nice little loft, which is actually a library. We built a library. 510. Open house. Yes, 2-car garage.
Library.
I know, right? It's amazing. You can keep like chairs. Built-in books, cases, and the whole thing. Super. Yeah.
All right, anyone else picture listings? That's right.
Yes, I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, halfplex came back on the market because the previous buyer bailed out. It was a good ball anyway. So yes, here in City Commons, great area, and so back on the market.
How much is it?
430, and it did get appraised for 435.
Huh.
So
There you go, get that, find out.
And we have a couple of rentals available, one right over here, really nice one, 4-bedroom, 3 full bath. With a bedroom and full bath downstairs right here. K Honovians on Victoria, you can pronounce it right, without Victoria. And really nice house, and it has a huge backyard because it's at the end of the little drive. That one is $26.95.
We talked to you about that.
Yeah. Okay, and we have a couple more, so just swing by the office, they're all.
Yeah, if you have just looking for rentals, talk to Dexter and Chris, they're the ones that. Anyone else, picture listings? What's that?
I know we have more, obviously, I don't have all of them, but I just know we have a newer one coming out of Yuba City. This one's gonna be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, listed at $299. And then we have another one that I'm working at, it's gonna come in 2 weeks. We have Yuba City. Yeah, not here. And then we have one coming up locally to Rio Linda, 2.77 acres. This was gonna come in about 2 weeks. Very nice home, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. And it's zoned AR2, so it's not gonna be commercial, it's a definitely agricultural. It's coming out in 2 weeks, so if you have any buyers looking for multiple pieces of land, especially now they want space amongst their neighbors. We're gonna have that in 2 weeks.
How much?
How much? $525, starting at.
5.5 for 2.5 acres plus. Sell that house, sell that
Yeah, I'm
house.
trying to, man, great people and, my biggest thing is support. Great buyer, guys.
Picture listings? I do want to pitch our 1.1, even though it's not ready yet, it's coming up. It is in the river, oh, you want to?
Yeah, it's gonna be ready in May, we have a little bit of time.
Oh, Sally, you have one?
Well, really, Andre should be here pitching it.
I know, yeah, exactly. Oh, you pitch it, Sal.
3421 Jola Circle. It's a complete remodel, new roof, new stucco, electric boom, insulation, kitchen, bath. I mean, you're talking everything. 4-bed, 2-bath, about 1,500 square feet for 425. It's off of Meadow.
For how much, Bob?
425.
And just so you know, if you get your buyer in there, you do inspect and find things, Sal will fix it. Right, Sal?
Yeah, I
All right, one last thing, 1.1 million. It's in the rivers, I don't know if you know the rivers in West Sac, it's on the north part of West Sac along the levee. So if you're at Chevy's on the rivers and you throw a rock across the river, the other side of the levee, it's there. It's there. So gated, inside gated, on the private park, 30-acre park, 3 pool, 3 ponds.
Backs up to the park. You can
Backs
see
up
it
to the
out.
park, you literally walk from your backyard to the park.
Master downstairs, full bed and bath downstairs with a half bath, family room, living room, dining room.
And another master upstairs.
Another master upstairs with a game room, loft area as well. How many rooms total? It's 4 with the
With the
four with office downstairs, with no closing, right? You close off in another room there and a loft upstairs.
Square footage?
36.
3,600 square. 1.1 in the rivers. On the park.
Onward. Yeah. So you got
On the
living
park,
room.
it's awesome, because it's just a wrought iron gate and my dogs love it.
Yeah, Bobby's dad lives 2 doors down. You can be friends with Bobby's dad.
But yeah, honestly. Actually, we saw 3 homes. Okay. Anyone else put your listings? Let's move forward. Market Center events, we have some stuff coming up, this is gonna be awesome. Just so you know, commercial is happening today at 12:30, that's a commercial team meeting. One second.
Sure. Poster will be starting it off. We're gonna do a market update for the Sac metro area. We are coordinating with our regional partners to do another update as sessions go forward, but it's gonna be every 3rd Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30. There will be lunch served at that meeting as well today, and
So we're gonna have 2 lunches, we're gonna have.
Yeah.
We're gonna have lunch for this meeting, and then the commercial's gonna have another lunch, so.
And this is gonna be an open, meeting, so you don't have to be commercial or you wanna participate in commercial to attend. It's just a really great way to get a full view and perspective of what's going on in our market.
So we will be having a commercial meeting once per month, 30 minutes after the the second team meeting we do every month, so, okay, so. If you wanna feel it out, it's a good thing to sit in and you'll see what happens, so. Alright, tomorrow at 11, it's tips for a smooth escrow, and, as Bruce and I talk a lot about broker issues, you guys need to make your escrows more smooth, so. Some of you are, I just want to put this, to say this. Don't put your emotion in front of your client. Make sense? Like, don't put your emotions and how you feel. Your drama out of it. Most of the issues is the agents having drama where the clients don't have drama. It's the agents creating drama. Right? So remember, it's not about you, it's about them. You're an agent, you represent, right? So.
You're not even a part of the
Recorded.
contract.
Recorded, going to be recorded.
Will it be recorded?
Most of the time conversations will not be recorded, they are in person.
Already got it together.
Yeah, sorry. It's up to the speaker whether
That's
it's
not
recorded.
gonna be smooth now.
And if you need more smooth access to you. On Friday, we have Eli. If you don't know Eli, he's a team leader at Elk Grove. Awesome guy. He's teaching 6 personal perspectives. If you don't know 6 personal perspectives, it is the fundamental way to personally, it's about your personal self, about how to be successful, not just in real estate, in life. And he does a great teacher. I told him if I went, I'd cry like all the time. So because he's that good. So if you want to do that, it's $25 down in Elk Grove. Go ahead and do that QR code to register. Also, thank you, Alita. Alita, so congratulations. Alita said more script practice in the office, and I said,
Yes, we do.
I said, you're speaking my language. I love you. So, after we do our club meeting at 2:00, we do a check-in on Mondays at 2:30. Right after the club meeting, there's going to be script practice in here. Alita, Rich, myself will be in here, script practicing, having people. I know if you're talking to a lot of people but not having success, this would be a good way to go. And actually, our speaker today, Brandy, is going to help you with that too. So awesome. Great insight, super excited. But if you want that, please be there. You don't have to be in the club to be in the script. If you just need help with scripting and talking to clients in this market, we're happy to help you.
I actually got some good feedback in Fairhope yesterday from Dave. He had mentioned that with script practicing and a lot of the things that he's seeing with his newer agent is people learn the scripts and they learn what to say, but then they're not implementing how to make the conversation organic. They're just trying to bust through their scripts really fast, and then they're left with awkwardness and things like this. I think would be a great thing for people to come to, not just to practice scripts per se, but practice like your technique and how you're.
And actually, our speaker today, Brandy, will talk a lot about that. Yes, scripts are not there to like make you sound like a robot. They're there for you to understand how you need to talk to people and have a conversation. And if you're only, and the problem is a lot of you are more worried about what to say, and so when you're not really listening well. But if you listen well and respond to them, the scripts help you to.
Yeah, nice example.
You will see, we will do conversations, you can see it, and they sound not scripted, they sound normal because we've internalized a lot of things and we can have a conversation. You'll see scripts laced in those conversations, but we're really talking and having a great conversation. All right, moving forward. Next week on Soup, next Wednesday, please be here at 11. I'm super excited. We're having Agent Appreciation Day. We haven't had this since COVID started. And if you were here back 4 years ago, three.
Seems like.
This is like 4. Anyways, 3 years ago, your leadership team will be grilling stuff for you. We're gonna have raffle prizes and gift bags and everything. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Just come. If you're a spotlight vendor, please join us. You are welcome as well. And it's just about you guys. So we're just gonna love you guys, have a lot of fun and this, because you know what? The market's up and up. 11 o'clock here. Love to see you. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Food, drink, prizes, music. You don't do that. Every broker comes.
It's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
And Sam is putting together. Your goodie bag.
Over in prizes that we have together, very relative stuff that you don't have to, it's just raffle. You have to come to.
Come and participate and enjoy yourself.
Nice, that's great.
That's nice. All right, do one club, is Vince here? Vince is here.
Yeah, I get a Star Wars.
You got 1 minute, Vince.
So the first person who can bust out their phone, open up Command Mobile and show me 201 more contacts, get something. Right? Mobile, open up your contacts. More touch workshops, 2 more, one in Fair Oaks coming up, one here in Sacramento, and then in April, I'm doing another 2. Please come. I really want to help you guys get out there, get some business, get some deals done. The more that I can do to help you to automate this stuff, the more you're going to have time to do lead generation. Learn your scripts. Yes.
Automate your stuff. Our whole team is automated on it.
There's an awesome script in there if you really want people to reach back out. Yeah, after if you owe that money.
I think I owe you money was one of our texts out and we got so many responses on that. Most people found it funny. Most people found it really funny.
Yes, that's true. I just think that was spurred around it. Some people get missed.
So, Vince, March 29th, please get on this. It'll help you with your business.
Well, Bruce and the numbers on that.
I am super grateful to have Brandy Christensen come here. She is the area director for United Home Group in our area. She leads an awesome team, and she is awesome at conversion and talking to people. And we are so privileged to have you here. Thank you for coming. And I know you're gonna get our next one here.
I'm a hugger, not a shaker. Yeah, you won't find me twerking in the club. I'd rather be hugging. So it's really great to be here again, you guys. Thank you so much, Sam, for inviting me back today. And I will have to tell you guys that your leadership tattled on you a little bit. So they didn't stab you in the back or anything. They just kind of told me a little bit about what's going on with you guys lately. So they said, you guys are having a little bit of a hard time. Motivation is kind of down a little bit. And that you're kind of feeling like it's a little tougher than it used to be. Now, did they get it wrong, or am I just totally bringing the mood way down? Because I'm one of those people, I like to get to the heart of things right away, and I don't like to waste time or tap around on glass or eggshells trying to get to the root of the problem. So what I wanted to talk to you guys today about was perspective. Perspective is the way that we see the world around us. And it's been developed in us since the time that we were in the crib all the way till now. And all of our adult experiences have led us to believe that when we have a new experience, that we frame it specifically in how we've learned things. And that can look like a box. Sometimes your thinking is just solely within a box. Sometimes, if you're ADHD, like some people, it tends to go all over the place, and your framework is a little bit, broader. So one of the things about perspective is what do we need to do in order to change our perspective when times get? Oh boy, everybody's quiet in here. We're gonna have to bring in the cheerleaders from the back. I see a couple of people back there that are like ready to get up my back. Perspective is something that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to how we approach our business and how we approach other people, because we see things sometimes in black and white and very little gray, and somebody else is talking about something completely different, and we miss the boat because our perception hasn't matched up with their perspective. So that being said, I know I lead generate almost every day and most of the time on Saturdays because that's when I can get a hold of people. Because they're working just like I am. So what are some of the things that you guys are hearing in your lead gener? Okay, wait, hold on. Let me ask a question. How many of you lead generate for at least 1 hour a day? Social media, phone calls, door knocking, open houses. Let's open it up. I'm not talking about just phone calls. Okay, so how many of you lead generate for 2 hours a day? Great. How many for 3 or more hours a day? Wow, you back here. Okay, you're a machine, aren't you? Okay, so did you see how the numbers started to go down? And, oh, I don't lead generate that many hours a day. Well, let me challenge your perspective. If you're not lead generating for at least 1 hour a day, is there any wonder that you don't have people calling you saying, hey, I need to buy a house? Hey, I need to sell a house. So maybe the perception needs to change a little bit of maybe I need to put more effort in. But where do we find the energy to get that effort to do it? It's in converting. That's where you find the energy. It's all of the small wins that you have every single day that are going to give you the energy to want to keep going. And do one more. Make one more phone call. Talk to one more person. And even if it's not real estate related, you're still leaving an impression on someone. So let's get back to perspective. What's your perspective of your conversations that you have with people in real estate right now? What are the biggest objections? Of course, speak up.
This week is the bank.
Oh yeah, this week it's
This week,
banquet.
that's
Yeah, last week was the atmospheric river coming through. The week before that, it was interest rates. The week before that, it was, oh my God, the Fed, you know. What else are you guys hearing? Come on, dig deep. This lets me know who you're talking to too.
Yeah,
Oh,
market's gonna crash, yeah.
market's gonna crash. Oh my gosh, yeah, the banks are starting to collapse. The market's gonna crash. Yeah, we wanna wait until we see the prices drop in half, right? What else are you guys hearing?
Inflation's not slowing down.
It is slowing down, just not as fast as they want it to.
I totally hear this fear.
Just general uncertainty.
Here, general uncertainty, right? That's right, exactly, because that's how they get paid is clickbait, right? So we know that trick. Anybody from the back there? What are you guys hearing when you're talking to people in general?
I think they covered a lot of it. Brandy, just saying stability of the market, the rates, the unknown, right? The market hasn't reached the bottom yet. We've
Right.
Clearly seen it drop, so it's gonna drop some more.
Right?
A lot of the same ones.
Yeah. We got a lot of people who aren't practicing that are making predictions, don't we? That one struck a chord with you guys. We've got a lot of people out there making predictions based off of their perspective. And they're not practicing. So how do we get around that, guys? I have another one for you. Why is inventory so low? Sellers or people that bought or refinanced have such a low rate, they just can't see how it could work. So they are going to squeeze themselves and stay uncomfortable because of an interest rate or more.
Bring up their motivation.
Right, so are you guys starting to see the perspectives that are out there? So how do we change those perspectives?
Bring the conversations.
You want to know what my key is? Actually, I want to hear yours again. What was that again?
I reframe the conversation.
Reframe the conversation. Tell me more.
So for example, the new Dream for All program is coming out.
Right, limited funds. You better hurry. Get there first. Get your 20% down free. Yep. It's not free. Well, we know it's not free. all a part of your equity when you ever do sell it, right? So, yeah, let's talk about some of the other perspectives out there.
That was actually one of those. That I would reframe by saying, yeah, but your payment's $500 less.
And you don't have
So you
PMI,
can use that. for
Right,
that
and we
equity.
have PMI.
That you didn't have to pay it.
Right, exactly. So how do you change your own perspective? How do you change how you perceive things in the world? Oh, now I'm asking you to think inside. Read and research.
People,
Okay.
Podcast,
Have different
exercise.
experiences. Talk to more people that disagree with you than people that agree with you. Gather information. And so, what is one of the main things that will actually cloud our perspective? You're getting close. What we want to hear. Sometimes if you want to be delusional and you don't want to change. Well, I'm calling it for what it is. If you don't want to hear it, it's because you want to be.
Randy, I think a lot of times if we just focus on the negative, the bad things that are going wrong, we miss opportunity to focus on the great things that are around us.
You're skipping ahead of me, but that's definitely the direction that I was headed in. You were the closest by talking about fear. Emotion is one of the first things that will change or cloud or put a lens on our perspective. So this is why I encourage people who want to get better at their conversion conversations to work on their emotional intelligence, being able to understand the emotions that they themselves have, know how to interpret those messages and respond rather than react, so that way they can actually help other people change their perspective, how they see the world, and be able to help them interpret their own emotions.
That's something that I myself do myself, because obviously it's 80% psychology, 40%. Or mechanics, you could say.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, you know, in order for us to get more yeses, you have to create anticipation in it. Because it, as we know, emotion makes you happy. If you lead with fear, that's as far as it's gonna go, and people are not gonna want to move forward. So you actually, you have to be able to know how to create emotions, while starting with yourself in order to project it.
Right, and sometimes the outside world will create circumstances and situations that will impact our emotions. And our emotions are those things that will actually allow us to justify making irrational decisions. So when we have an irrational decision that we're getting ready to make, or somebody else is getting ready to make, why is that? It's because they're choosing an emotion that does not serve them. What emotions are not serving the general public right now when it comes to the economy and real estate? Fear. Can I ask you a question that won't offend you? Please. If your personal economy is the only one that you have to worry about, why would you even care about the national economy? If you have a recession-proof income and you have savings, you have reserves, what does anything else outside of your personal economy have to do with you buying? Nothing.
Weird.
It's different, isn't it? It's a shift in perspective. It's a shift in, and I wouldn't necessarily say that to somebody like I was talking to them and say, what's that got to do with you not buying a house? You know, I'm not going to say that to them. I am going to get to that point though. So when I'm talking to you, I'm a lot harsher and more direct and to the point than I actually am with the client. Of actually speaking to them on a level that they need to feel secure and safe in. And that's the big thing that drives fear. They feel insecure, they feel unsafe, and they feel unstable. What's causing them to feel that way? You got some good answers back there. Fear is usually the result of number one, not being prepared. Number two, it's because you're thinking more about yourself than you are about the other person. Can I tell you a little story? So I was raised in church, so my parents put me in the children's choir and they, made me do all of the wonderful little skits and plays. And every single time that I would get up on stage, whether it was to sing or act in the play or even in high school, get up and sing a solo, I would get so full of nerves because I was so afraid. Why do you think I was afraid? I was prepared. Because I was thinking more about how I looked and how I sounded than the value that I was bringing to schools. So let me ask you, are you afraid to call people right now because you're getting the same story over and over and over again? What's holding you back from doing lead generation? Is it fear? This is a question for you guys to answer. Does anybody want to be vulnerable? What's holding you back?
Rejection.
Rejection. Okay.
Mine is because sometimes there are clients currently right now, as we know, renting a house is $27,000. Whereas with interest rates, when we qualify, you're looking at like $400,000. And a lot of people who are renting to owning are within that price point, so we know they're like, yeah, I can rent this house for $2,700, that's ready, whereas we find this house at $400,000, it's a fixer. And they may not have the funds in order to do the work afterward.
So then it's not the right time for them to buy.
And I think a lot of us are, I see myself, that telling people it's not the right time for you to buy. In my head, it's like, oh, it's a missed opportunity, but I know it's not right now for you. It could be later on. And with that being said, if you don't have clients that can buy now,
As a real estate agent, you have a responsibility to the general public to act in good faith. And even before the actual relationship starts, if you don't start practicing fiduciary responsibility to people before you have them sign a contract, then you're not a good agent. It's all about them. So now we're talking about changing our own perspective and our own framework. So what do we need to do in order to change our framework of we're receiving all of these same answers? How do we change what we're saying in order to have them talk to us and really get to the root of what the real problem is?
So the question is, how do we change ourselves?
How do we change ourselves to ask better questions in order to get to the root of what the real problem is? Is it a condition or is it just fear?
Practice. John mentioned it earlier. You
Uh-huh.
gotta practice the right thing, strip back.
Right.
It's probably more so the measure basics,
Uh-huh.
you know, the basic calculation of you. So education as well and figuring out what exactly is having you have that scarcity mindset, how can you reverse that value contribution? Just
Right. Yeah, I want to circle back again. What's keeping you from lead generating? We already heard rejection,
Stories in your head.
the stories in your head. It's your perspective. Yeah.
Bothering people.
Hmm?
Bothering people.
Bothering people? Really?
I guess I-
John. You still deal with feeling like you're bothering people? Oh, now if John is actually like a team lead here. And he knows all about real estate and how to deal with people, and he still feels fear that he's bothering people. Do you think that it's not natural for you to feel the same? What else is keeping you from talking to people or bothering people? ADHD. ADHD.
That's very well.
Yeah, that can definitely keep it from happening too, right? Yeah,
I don't lead generating, I don't work with buyers or sellers.
great.
But one of my problems with my own bias is always gotten away. I hate getting these calls. And that caused me a problem.
Now you know what your broker really.
That was the thing for me when I did.
Yeah, oh, I hate getting these calls, so why would I want to bother someone else when I hate getting these calls? Great. Well, let me tell you guys a couple of my tricks that have definitely been able to break down some barriers to be able to have those conversations. Are you ready for that part? Okay, so now that we know what some of your fears are, rejection, feeling like you're bothering them, you don't like to receive the same phone calls, and you're not really quite sure if they really even can make the move, so why should I spend time, right? Did I get them all, or did I miss any? Okay, all right, cool. So here's the first thing. With rejection, I'd like to ask the question, what else could it be? When you're thinking about being rejected by somebody, are they really rejecting you, or are they just rejecting what you're offering them? Because it doesn't fit their time. So is that really rejection, or is it just a not yet? It's really not a yet. Yeah, it's not yet.
Value is there at this time.
For them, right? And there's nothing you can do to bring more value because the timing isn't right for them, right? So is there a deeper sense of rejection that we're talking about? Like maybe interviewing for something and then you didn't get it because they went with someone else? Is that also what we're dealing with as well? As far as rejection? No? No? Okay. And then we're also talking about, sorry, refresh my memory again. Bothering people. Bothering people. How do you know that you're bothering someone if they pick up the phone? It's called tone of voice. Yes. You can tell, right? Oh my God, who are you and why are you calling me? Now you know you're bothering them. Oh man, it sounds like I caught you at a bad time. I just labeled the emotion of the annoyance, the frustration, and possibly even anger because you don't know who that person got off the phone with right before they picked up the phone with you. They might have just had a knockout, drag out fight with an ex that they're fighting over kids and money, right? Like I caught you at a bad time. And typically what they'll respond with is, yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, I've got some time. What's this about? It resets. It's a reset button for them. Because they're like, oh wow, somebody just actually acknowledged that they could hear that I'm upset. And it's a reset button. Then they're like, okay, yeah, no, it's not a bad time. I can actually take a few moments to talk. That's gonna be your biggest barrier breaker right there. Did I catch you at a bad time? And why am I saying did I catch you at a bad time first off? Because I don't want to talk to them if they're having a bad day or it's not a good time for them to talk. In what world have you ever taken a phone call from a telemarketer and you said, look, I don't have time for this call right now, and they kept talking over you?
You'll get it.
So that's going to be one of the biggest barriers that you guys have to breaking down that fear of the bother. Because if you are bothering them, ask them, is it a bad time? And if it is, great. When can we catch up? When can we touch base? When is most convenient for you? Do you know what that shows them? Respect. Respect. People don't like being disrespected. All right, so another thing that we can also do, so we've got the bothering, we've got the rejection. Not the right time? Oh yeah, it's definitely not the right time for some people. How do we get further into that conversation to find out what the true meaning of it's not the right time is?
From curiosity.
Yeah, curiosity is really a big thing. What else? My biggest question that I ask myself when someone's talking is, what else could this mean? When I'm even having an interesting situation internally, and I am experiencing an emotion like anxiety or frustration or something, what else could this mean? And I sit there and get curious about myself. It's the same thing, the same process that you would do with anyone else. What else could this mean? So with rejection, I could even say, what else could that really mean? Is it actually rejection, or is it fear of loss or fear of failure? And they'll probably go down that road of, well, maybe it's a fear of loss. Okay, well, Is it a fear of loss, or is it a sense of inadequacy? So when we're going through that process in our own internal language, being able to come up with a language to help them uncover and self-discover without leading them down a sales script is going to be your biggest weapon in your arsenal. Because we're not just having conversations just to mark tally marks on a page. We're having conversations to convert them into future clients. Does anybody know what convert means? What does that mean to you guys?
The process, earn an appointment, earn your business.
Have enough trust with them.
Right, so conversion is actually changing them from an unknown to a known. That's what conversion is. And right now, you're talking to a lot of people that there are a lot of unknowns. So this is the way that we get down to it. Asking yourself, okay, when somebody says now is not the right time, what else could this mean? The way that I would typically handle that is like, it's in a sense of going, it seems like something specific is holding back. Because they didn't want to tell me right up front. So it seems like something specific is holding back. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, actually it's this, 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 and this. And then we start having a conversation about the this, 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 right? We start having a conversation based on how they see the world. How many times do you get stuck in a sales call or a conversation with someone and you start telling them how the market is instead of listening to them? How many times have you caught yourself talking about how great you and your team are instead of actually listening to them?
What kind of programs there are, all this and that, not getting a lit about.
They don't really care about what you know until they know that you care. And this is the way for you to find out how they care, find out what they're up against so that they know that you listen and that you care. You're not just the next quick, slick salesperson trying to convince them to do something they're not ready.
That's why I know when I method on my conversions, I say I do a lot of time. If they don't know what the next person needs and they can know each other, they do more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And because you're not pushing them to do something that's not in their best interest. Sometimes you have to find out what their values are. If you don't ask these types of questions or have these types of dialogues with them, you never know what their values are. And that question can sound like the typical, what about this is important to you? It could be something as simple as it seems like something's really driving your need to take this next step. Or it seems like you're really just curious about the real estate market, looking at pretty pictures. I'll even devalue the conversation for a new person that much to find out what they're really doing. Seems like you're just curious and looking at pictures online. And they'll go, oh no, actually, we were doing some research about the area. Oh, great. You know, Google can be a really good resource, but I know things about the area that Google won't be able to tell you. All right, what are some of the other big things? Maybe it's even just a stack up of little tiny small things that all of a sudden become a big thing that are keeping us from converting at a high level right now.
I think what Jose said is about energy. Yeah, energy. Because you get so much negativity around you, you have to have more energy to sort of keep moving forward, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. And where do we find that energy from?
I find it from exercise.
Right, because you're feeding your body the correct hormones and chemical agents in order to actually stimulate the brain to think that way. Did you know that you could do that without exercising, without endorphin rushes?
Tell me more.
Change your mind, your state of mind and your mindset with as simple of a transition as changing what you're focusing on. You can change your body by focusing on an emotion. If you're focusing on fear and anger and regret, and you're focusing on all of these things that you feel like you're losing in life, then that focus is power, and it's going to magnify it. And what happens to your brain chemistry when all of that negativity is focused on and magnified? You start experiencing lots of signs of depression, anxiety, things of that nature. But I just can't change my thoughts that easily, Brandy. No, you're right. You can't. It takes time, and it takes practice, and it takes awareness. What was that?
I said, that's why coming to things like this are great.
Thanks.
No, seriously.
Yeah, they help you change your perspective, right?
Right. Now, what would happen if you focused on the feeling that you want to have? If you didn't want to feel anxious or depressed, or if you didn't want to feel fearful, do you take just 30 seconds to actually close your eyes and think about, I've been through this before. Look at all of those times that I actually made it through this BS before, and I came out okay, and even better, and I'm even stronger now. And, wow, how did I feel after I accomplished that, or after I survived or even thrived through something? I felt amazing. And focusing on that feeling can help you change without having to exercise. I got you back.
Actually, it's funny you bring that up, because yesterday at the gym, like, we're all feeling this weather, right? We're all feeling.
Barometric pressure, the cold, the wind.
Whatever weather we're talking about. There was a song that came on your mind, everything, right?
Yeah.
It could be a song, it could be like you said, just take 30 seconds and think about you, right? You don't gotta go live what it's doing.
Think about the emotion that you want to have after you've accomplished it.
Right.
And a lot of it just comes down to, with the market out there, such a you cannot control. And that's why a lot of people feel like, I can't do anything about the market, I can't do about the qualification of mine, but your case of mine, I like focus on what I can do.
Right.
And
I think that's a really good point that you're bringing out, because a lot of people think that they're subject to their feelings or their emotions, but you choose what you feel. So you do have control over your emotions and your feelings, if you want to. Or if you just want to, run around like an untamed wild tiger animal that tears up everything in its path, then fine. But if you would rather be productive and bring value, then the work starts on the inside as far as your perspective is concerned. And it works its way outside so that you can help people guide themselves through the process without being the used car salesman or dirty liquor type, right? Yeah, because we've all experienced that. All right, was there anything else that you guys wanted? This was a little bit more of like a group coaching session for you guys to get as much as you wanted out of this today. And I know we've been a little bit all over the place.
You
Sam.
said a quote that I liked, I just wanna know if it was yours or if it was an actual quote. You said they don't care about what you know until they know that you care. And I'm like, ooh.
That comes straight out of Bold.
Maybe.
I think that comes straight out of Bold, yeah. But it's such a true statement.
I feel
Such
like
a
it's
true
more than
statement.
just with real estate too, within anything that you're in, even with me at the front desk, like, I don't think that anybody would really care about what I knew if they didn't think I cared about them, so.
Right.
I just hit home with me, I really like that.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I know, John, you probably need to let everybody get going.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that wants to share anything that you learned from today or something that you can take away?
I don't think it.
Yeah.
I need to work on my mindset.
I love the scripts you put in the questions, like, is this a bad time for you, right? Yeah. So thank you, Brandy, was that awesome?
So the economy has changed, but I feel like, Brandy is what I got from what you said, on it, is that be intentional and have, decide how you want to do something. Because it's true, I know a lot of people who wanna buy, but they are not gonna buy it because of rate. those things have changed, and people don't want to list right now. They're waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you can be intentional about, yeah, exactly, intentional. We were on the leadership meeting the other day and that's what I'm talking about, but this was like, I'm tired of the rain, right, and it's wet. And literally I was parked right out there in the meeting and I was like, no, I mean, I don't like getting my hair wet, like, you know, I don't want to get drenched either, right, you know, but I got kind of like, you know, just embrace the rain. I literally put my arms out and just let it rain on me for a sec. And I was just like, no, you know, there's a good side to everything and it makes you feel refreshed and it makes it feel nice and, you know, and just know there's a good side to every bad thing that's happening to you right now. And there's a good, and usually it's the thing that makes you stronger after it, right?
Well,
And
here's the thing, it doesn't have to be good or bad, it just is.
yeah, it just is. Yeah, it just is. Yeah, it just is something and it's just you looking at it in a negative way instead of seeing a positive.
Yeah, and I'd also like to offer that if any of you would like to get my contact information from Sam, if you ever have any challenging situations with a conversation with someone and you want to use me as a sounding board, I'd be more than happy to offer my services there.
That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. You want to have a great day. We have lunch over there, so go ahead and grab it. I'll hang around for 12:30. We'll have another one.
I know, right? So like we all need to know.
Yeah, that's a nice.